wow, was this one a stinker. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the latest blockbuster tentpole superhero film from the acclaimed writers of Morbius, Madam Web. Yep, another entry into Sony's Spider-Man universe that doesn't even have Spider-Man in it, instead just taking minor characters that no one really cares that much about, giving them a terrible script and turning it into a feature-length film. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. At the end of the video, if I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new content. Now let's get into it. Now the story in Madam Web doesn't really flow all that well and doesn't really make that much sense, so I'm going to do my best to give you a synopsis. It's 2003, and Cassandra Webb, played by Dakota Johnson, is a paramedic working with Adam Scott's Ben Parker, yes, that Ben Parker, when she starts having visions of the future, not unlike Raven-Symoné, which was used as marketing for this movie for some reason.
Hi, John from the Madam Web marketing team. I would love to make a video for you.
How did you know I was calling you to ask you that?
Because I can gaze into the future.
How do you do, fellow kids?
These visions eventually show her three teenage girls: Sydney Sweeney's Julia Cornwall, Isabella Merced's Anya Corazon, and Celeste O'Connor's Maddie Franklin, who, even though they don't know each other, are all connected somehow.
See, it all connects.
She then sees visions of Ezekiel Sims, played by Tahar Rahim, a bad guy with spider powers who has visions of these girls defeating him one day, so he wants to hunt them down. So Cassandra and the girls go on the run, and that's the story. Where do I begin with this piece of trash? I guess if there's one positive thing I can say about this movie, it's that the premise is pretty interesting. Having one character experience Final Destination visions over and over again and try to do what she can to stop them. But the movie doesn't just squander this potential for a cool film, it spits right in its face. The writing here is just terrible. I don't know what is making Sony so scared to go outside the box and maybe bring in some of those writers from Spider-Verse, but using the writers from Morbius again? Seriously?
It's Morbid time.
Not only is there no real point to the story outside of keeping the girls alive and Cassandra learning about her past, but Cassandra Webb is an actively unlikable character who shows absolutely no respect or patience to anybody in the film and is very antisocial in a pretty over-the-top way. And as for everyone else in the cast, they might as well have been an afterthought because that's 100% how they felt to me. We learn nothing about Isabella Merced, Celeste O'Connor, or Sydney Sweeney's characters, besides a single throwaway line from each about what their home lives look like. And for the most part, they're just there to look confused or scared, chase Dakota Johnson around the screen, and scream.
The scream just got louder.
And if you're confused by that, thinking, hey, I saw the trailer for this, I saw them in their spider outfits with their spider powers, there's gotta be some cool action scenes, right? Well, don't get your hopes up. This payoff that you're waiting for the whole movie, seeing them get their spider powers, seeing them fight the main villain, it never comes. All we get are two incredibly brief sequences that are actually visions, they don't actually happen, showing them all superheroed up and fighting the bad guy. It has zero impact on the plot and no payoff, and like I said, they don't even get their powers in this movie. And don't even get me started on the villain.
Boo! You stink!
Ezekiel Sims is a pretty damn cool character from the comics in my opinion. I love the whole thing with the spider totems and him being Peter Parker's mentor, but here he's Ezekiel Sims in name only and maybe an outfit later in the movie because we get to learn nothing about this character. All we know is that he thinks these girls are going to defeat him someday, so he wants to hunt them down. That is it.
Not a great plan.
No disrespect to Tahar Rahim, but Ezekiel Sims is the most bland, boring, and cardboard cutout villain I've seen in a very long time. Anytime he does anything remotely kind of cool, it's either ruined by bad CGI or that goofy-ass knockoff Spider-Man costume he has. But for the rest of it, he's just delivering monotone monologues and empty threats talking about how he won't let these girls tear down what he's built when we don't even know what he's built in the first place. We never see it. Say what you will about Morbius, because that is a shit movie, but at least Matt Smith brought a lot of charisma to the screen, and we have that hilarious scene of him dancing around in his closet. Adam Scott is fine as Ben Parker, but they don't really give him too much to do.
Come on! Welcome back to the land of the living.
And the way they attempt to subtly tease the fact that he's about to be Uncle Ben is completely laughable, especially considering that they really didn't want to reference Spider-Man or Peter Parker too much in this movie. It feels like they scrubbed any reference out. The dialogue is just atrocious here too, and no one can deliver it convincingly. That he was in the Amazon researching spiders with my mother before she died, where a line from the trailer is thankfully gone.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
But it's been replaced by such winners as, how would you know if you can climb a wall if you never try? tried. Either I peed myself or my water just broke. And who could forget this complete bastardization of Spider-Man's main mantra, when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
That's not how you're supposed to say it! You said it weird!
I can't even begin to describe how that completely throws the point of with great power comes great responsibility right out the window. Just like with Morbius, it just feels like the writers didn't even try here. And it's definitely not helped by the performances, which range from just okay to I was laughing with nearly every single line that came out of their mouth. Isabella Merced and Adam Scott are probably the best ones here, but that's because they're giving it their all. But no matter how much they tried, they really couldn't make this awful script work.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
I guess Celeste O'Connor is alright here too, but she doesn't really have much to do in the movie besides be a damsel or just have a terrible attitude to everyone she meets. So to say the least, she wasn't my favorite.
I can see the future. Oh, what the hell? She didn't see that coming?
But for everyone else, especially Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson, they might as well have been sleepwalking through this damn movie. Every single line Sydney Sweeney has here is so wooden and monotone with no emotion behind it whatsoever that it honestly feels like you're watching the hot girl cast as the lead in the high school play.
What is going on?
And when that character has to act scared or emotional, it just falls so flat that I spent most of her screen time just laughing. Think January Jones in X-Men First Class, if that helps.
He's here to kill you.
Dakota Johnson's performance isn't really wooden like Sydney Sweeney's, it's just kind of weird. How do I explain this? In every single scene, she seems so spaced out, and she goes from one extreme to another very rapidly, from cracking lame jokes at a party to screaming at the girls because she has no patience for them and their questions, or just walking around looking extremely confused when she experiences visions of the future. She's just all over the place here without ever feeling convincing, and when paired with this awful script, it makes it hard to believe that you're even watching a real movie.
What the hell is here? Huh?
And Tahar Rahim, I know he's a good actor, but he is just stinking up the theater here.
I have no idea what those girls have come.
I said it before, but every line he has is so bland and monotone that it feels like it was created with AI, especially considering he pretty much has the same facial expression throughout this entire movie, whether he's mad, angry, sad, whatever. And the ADR, oh my god, almost every single one of his lines was dubbed in post-production, and you can 100% tell, but that's not all. What's the cherry on top of this sundae of shit? The CGI.
Oh, brother.
Any time that there is any CGI in this movie, whether it's those complete teases of scenes with the Spider-Women, Cassandra looking into the web of time, or her and the girls escaping from Ezekiel, it's very noticeable and off-putting. It makes Marvel's recent CGI look like top-notch. So, yeah. I've seen a few shitty movies already this year, and we're not even done with the second month of 2024, and I think I already have my pick for worst movie of the year. This is just embarrassing through and through. The story, the writing, the performances, they're all terrible and to the point where they're almost laughably bad. And I honestly wish it would have been laughably bad for most of the movie, like something like Argyle, because I actually had fun throughout that movie, even though it sucked. But this is just generic, slow, boring, and terribly edited together, and it's something I'll probably forget about by the end of the week, and Victoria even agreed with me. But no matter what I say about it, nothing sums it up better than this picture we took outside the theater. Sony, instead of forcing D-list characters onto the screen that nobody really gives a shit about, give us Amazing Spider-Man 3. Give us Raimi's Spider-Man 4. Give us more animated movies set in the Spider-Verse with that groundbreaking storytelling and animation. Come on, the writing is on the wall and you guys would be raking in the money. But instead we get to look forward to more of these shitty movies, this time Kraven the Hunter, who is actually a great Spider-Man villain who should be on the big screen, but not without Spider-Man. Anyway, that's the end of my tangent, and that's my review of Madam Web. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, and I hope you did because we had to sit through a piece of shit movie to give it to you, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss any of my new videos. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you're one of the 10 people that saw this movie and what you thought, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. It'll take you to my review of Lisa Frankenstein, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week for my review of the new horror movie Stop Motion, and then you know what's coming after that. It's Dune Part 2, baby!